Welcome everybody to the American Space Museum and our 1000th episode of Stay Curious. And we've got it backwards. All right. And there you go.
Quality control.
And yeah, there we go. There's our 1000th episode. All right, we're glad that you're all with us here. We got Trekkie Techie on the board. Marty's right here. That's Bruce Jacobs, that many of you don't know Bruce. He's been on once in a while. And my good friend here, Hazel Banks, secretary to the Apollo astronauts and a great supporter of our museum. 1,000 episodes, everybody. Where's the boss, Karan? She can't be hiding. She's going to hide somewhere, it looks like there, but thank you. We've got Ken Kramer here and Gene Wright, who certainly helped us launch this program 4 years ago almost. And Carlton Bailey's in the house here as the official photographer, okay? And I'll let know Jonathan Ward, you're doing a good job in case you want to follow him around there. But hope you all enjoy an impromptu show today. Our Apollo gallery's in the background here. We'll bring Jessica Galloway up front here in a few minutes after we're so proud of what the museum has done with this outreach program that started on my cell phone on March 23rd, 2020, the week after the world closed down because of the COVID pandemic. And I brought here, just to remind you all, my COVID mask here. All right. And Jessica, so there's my COVID mask. Gene Wright, I think you gave me this one, my first COVID mask, okay. I took the metal out of the side of it after no, it's at the top. At the bottom of the mask. And then a couple other ones there just to remind us of how far we've come as a nation, of course, with that horrible pandemic. But a lot of us have been sick with other things this week, including me. So I'm going to pop up here occasionally and grab some things to talk about our journey here. But let the balloons go up. We'll let the balloons go. All right, up there to the thing there. Yippee! 1,000 show. And I've got a whole list of people that we're going to thank, from guests, a few of you out there, and some of our donors. But couldn't have done it without this guy right here. My big brother I never had, Marty Winkle, one of the greatest volunteers of any nonprofit you'd ever want to see. He's raised thousands of dollars for this museum you've been involved with it at least 15 years, right, Marty?
About 22 or 23.
22 years. Yeah. And of course, he had his gloved hands all over the lunar modules for Grumman, and we've loved talking about that on there.
But I got
Marty?
a question, though.
Yes, sir.
Karen can hide. Why can't I hide?
You do every day.
I know.
Okay, there she's the boss there. We got some guests here wondering what's going on, but we've had a great group of guests here. Thank you for coming to our humble museum. Hope you enjoyed it. And this has certainly been a journey for you and me.
Yeah.
And if anybody's got some questions out there, we can take those questions. We know Dave Stangy's watching there. He's also been a financial contributor to this.
He was our first comment.
And yeah, he's the first one on there. And Marty, we're very much like a Felix and Oscar odd couple.
Yeah.
You'll stick at that. But, well, hey, I like being who I am too, in there. But we've really had a fun time with this, haven't we?
Most of the time, Mark, yeah.
Okay. He's not going to get out of his shell, okay. Yeah, most of the time's right. We've fought a couple of times like brothers, but always made up. And same way with everybody involved with this show is when you're in the creative process, it's it's challenging. And you're very much an engineering person, and I'm not. And I tell people, don't go into liberal arts. Kids, go into engineering and make some money. All right, that's liberal arts. But what did you like to say about 1,000 episodes? You and I probably missed 10 each, maybe.
I think I missed a few more than 10, but not many more. But it's really been, I've learned a lot. I felt like you said before, Mark, that you knew a little bit, and now you're like overflowing, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And although I knew quite a bit, I seemed like every show I learned something. even from you sometimes.
Good, good. Yeah, that's the magic of it. Everybody's learned about space workers. Our museum promotes space workers. I haven't done an exact tally, but we think we've interviewed over 150 people for sure. I'm going to give you a list of some of the important ones that have really helped us and are out there. But I want to say hi to Hazel.
Well, hello, Mark. Good to see you again.
And well, good to see you again.
And Marty.
And,
everybody else.
Hazel, you've been involved in a lot of professional scenes. This woman was a secretary that they now call them administrative assistants, right?
Yeah,
To the Apollo astronauts from Gemini, actually. She started with Gemini. And then she worked for the legendary Ralph Wilson, president of the Buffalo Bills, and as his executive secretary. That's right. So what do you think about how this has gone?
I think it's exceptional. It's, for the growth of Stay Curious, your fans, you know, everything's evolved perfectly, really, for you. And I have something to give to Stay Curious. These are matches from, and since my box fell apart and they're not in any order anymore,
Right.
but they're from Apollo 7 to Apollo 17.
Well, thank you.
And
A complete
not
set of
that-
matches. Huh?
There's no smoking.
Okay,
So
yeah,
you
no
cannot
smoking
use
in
them,
there.
okay?
That's right. No. Yeah,
No,
we all do gummies now.
Okay,
not-
well, and this has, so, okay, Apollo 14,
yeah. Yeah, well, thank
Like
you.
Apollo 9,
That's very cool.
you know, and Apollo 11. And
Are these period pieces, or however you call it, like came out when the missions were out,
yes,
or
yeah,
okay,
this
okay.
is from the 60s.
that's what I
And
thought.
I,
Okay.
I still remember when I was in the 60s. Not much anymore, though.
Well, I know you don't want to stick around a long time, but you know what?
But-
With Karan Conklin, our executive director, who's going to be on here in a minute, she gave me full reign to kind of tailor this thing. And immediately I wanted to celebrate the space workers. You were one of the very first interviews we had on there. And, you know, how important is it for people not to forget the 60s and the Apollo program?
And what we did back then, and we did everything by hand, as you all know, and we weren't ever on if we were on the phone, it was because we were calling Houston, or
Yeah.
you know, or at MIT, or
Well, you definitely represent get the job done no matter what.
no, yeah,
And nobody worried about overtime and all that stuff.
no,
But we've talked to over 150 space workers, you know, and they've shared their stories. Some of them I forget their names even. And it's just, remember the guy that did the parachutes on the SRBs?
He's a friend of mine. I can't think. Of his
Yeah,
name.
Jason.
Uh,
Jason.
do you want me to hold-
but that's what we love
no,
about it.
yeah,
there.
yeah, and
But
we
thank
all-
you for these.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's like it's all,
All right.
and they're all from the 60s. They're the real thing, and
Well, you've watched this a lot.
I
So
watch and I don't
you've
have
seen
a
it
you-
grow
yeah.
from a handful to now we've, you know, a couple hundred people watching. We wish it was more, and someday it will be more, we think.
Well, I'm sure there's people like me that I don't sign into YouTube, or I just pull you up at
Uh-huh.
4 o'clock, and so I'm sure there's a lot of people like that too.
We still see you lurking.
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
Still a few.
Well,
Right,
Well,
Bruce?
Yes, it's still a view.
The
Well, it's
algorithm knows.
Well, just keep
Oh.
keep it up, and we're all lucky that we're still here to celebrate and support.
yes,
I
we are
mean,
lucky. We've lost some friends along the way here, actually, and but thank you for your
Yeah.
financial support, your moral support, and
Yeah.
everything. It's meant a lot to us here.
There's
Hazel.
and I'm not talking. Speaking about losing friends, I just learned in the last couple of weeks that a couple of the people that I worked with in Apollo, they passed. One was an engineer, and one was McCafferty's secretary back then.
Well, your
and-
friend Bob Pearson, we wish
Yeah.
we could have had him on Stay Curious.
yeah.
We came on out. He taught all the astronauts how to land on the moon.
Yeah.
Of course, we just lost Mr. Richard Truly. Admiral Truly died at age 86. We have his handprints over there in the
wow.
Apollo Gallery.
Yeah.
We'll put those on
So
Facebook.
just,
And but this is also Leap Day, February 29th.
that's right.
Why I chose today to kind of celebrate it. And it's the birthday of the 22nd birthday of Jack Lousma.
Well,
on
yeah,
there.
and I remember because he's from Michigan, and
Yeah, Grand Rapids.
I coming down here or to an event that the museum was sponsoring. Elsewhere, I met him on the on the planes, and he eventually remembered me, even though that was 50 years ago or something. But and I have something else just to give you real quick because.
Well, we're not going to let you go. You keep getting gifts here.
Oh well,
Yeah.
and this is kind of crazy because 1,000 programs.
Episodes.
So I got you a Tortuga cake for every 200 episodes. So there's 5 cakes in here, and you can pair them.
Tortuga cake.
And they're different.
Orange rum cake. Okay.
Coconut rum cake.
Coconut rum.
Key lime.
I
Tropical rum. All right.
Caribbean rum.
The heck with that
We're gonna
cake.
fight over that later.
There,
Right.
so, but then I know you have a cake, but that's
Yeah. I'm going to have. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank
I'll
you.
put it
Appreciate
there.
that. What I'll ask is Karen's coming on set here. If some of you want to get behind us here, we would love that.
Over here.
Would y'all have a cake there?
yeah.
All right. Lillian, yeah, come on, bring the cake in and I'll hold the cake there. I got
Here?
my shut up.
Make sure it doesn't slide.
Oh, awesome. Yeah.
It's
Yeah. And
You got it?
well, I got it. I'm going to lower it here.
Mark. I'm
And-
jumping over this.
And that Trekkie Techie there, I've got a good zoom in on that if you want. Beautiful cake there. Hazel, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. You're welcome. Enjoy. The cake's beautiful.
Yeah.
Make sure it doesn't-
Of course, this is a vest that I've worn on a lot of the shows on there.
It matches
Jessica, why
the-
don't you come over
it
here?
matches the cake.
Yeah, it does.
Just
All
We
right,
set
I'm
that
doing
back
that.
there. We got Karen Conklin here, Steve Izzo, excellent in the green. Steve's excellent docent.
We didn't
Uh,
think
go
about
ahead,
this.
Kramer. Yeah, look at that.
We're shuffling. We're shuffling.
Sit over here, Jessica.
All right.
There.
Yeah,
Want me to
Marty's
sit?
going to go around. Yeah,
Marty-
all right,
Marty's
sit there.
driving
there you
now.
go. Gene Wright here.
So much better.
Of course, Gene Wright holds the record for the most views of any of the shows. The Soul Sister there.
Over
And,
5,000.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
That's what we think.
and you need to get her. We're going to have her on to talk about her very successful book about the Soul Sisters, a children's book. But here we got Jessica and Bruce Jacob.
Behind the scenes.
2 IT people that we could never have done this without. And so first I'm going to ask Bruce, how crazy do you think we were when we took this on?
I thought we were crazy.
Insane.
But speak a little bit about the challenges that that this presented. First,
Well-
we did it on, the story is this. During the pandemic, and it was St. Patrick's Day, it's March 17, 2020, when Orlando shut down, everybody shut down. The board of directors wasn't going to lay us off. Here's Karen over here.
Executive decision.
And they weren't going to lay us off. So I said, Karen, we can't let our supporters of this nonprofit know that we're not laying down. I think I can put this. Of course, we were doing Facebook and increasing that, but I think I can do this thing called Facebook Live, and it didn't know anything about it on my phone. Did a few things on that, and it went from there. We got a $5,000 grant from the Marie West Endowment that bought equipment, and that's when we brought Jessica in here to help us. And she's a Star Trek fan, so we call her Trekkie Techie. But Bruce is so immersed in the day-to-day operations here that we knew that you couldn't devote a lot of time to it because he's a volunteer, just like Marty
Busy guy.
in there. And but we did it on my cell phone. I did outside stargazing tips.
Scroll back if
and
somebody
everything
wants
like
to
that.
drop the link to
Yeah.
the original episode. We were trying to find it to put it in the comments. We didn't have any
But
success.
you ask about the challenges. It was everything from the initial equipment. I went from the cell phone to the camera. Then we had the problem of, do we have enough bandwidth for video uploads that if someone gets on their computer, it doesn't take it down?
Mm-hmm.
If we have a power failure, have some uninterruptible power to the key equipment, little things like that. Every one we have to set some settings after the show and answer people's questions afterward. And there's just a lot of little.
But to make money on it, we had to get on YouTube. And Bruce was our caretaker of YouTube, and we had to reach 1,000 people on
Right
YouTube
there.
to monetize it. And now we're got 2,700.
We
Yeah, we're
almost
getting-
almost
Yeah.
tripled.
Yeah.
And it's been about a year, I think, since
Yeah,
we've
well,
done.
August 2022, I think, is when we went on to YouTube. But
we were cross posting it first,
uh,
and then we switched full to YouTube because that's where we get that money. What are the stats? What are the stats today, Bruce?
Yeah.
Drop them.
well, my background to do this
20.
was doing a lot of astronomy talk. So we developed that into everyday events. I said to Karen, every day is space history, astronaut birthdays, something to celebrate. And so that's where we
Something
started.
happened in space every day.
Every day, and so it evolved from there. And I would have if you go back and look at some of the ones before we did the green screen and Streamlabs, I'm real proud of them. We had a lot of nice posters and things that were part of our collection that were in the background and so forth. But so then
We upgraded.
Jessica actually helped us when you were in Iowa.
I was in Kansas.
Oh yeah, Kansas.
Yeah, I was
Kansas.
working at the chamber, and we connected through that,
Right.
through your liaising.
That's right.
And I went to go help my mom back in Kansas, and I was remote that first, gosh, I think it was 2 weeks.
Right.
I helped you with 1 or 2 episodes, and I was like, okay, I believe in you guys. And I think I was remoted in every day, and then slowly but surely.
Yeah, Marty and her talking remotely. He's learning how to do the Streamlabs thing, and then we got a green screen and
All the settings and all the tweaks.
yep, Ken back
Sound
here.
checks.
Ken over there, wave your hand there. Ken Kramer, he's a rocket photographer. Didn't set your cameras up today, obviously, for the launch Saturday.
Because they would scrub the launch.
Oh,
Yeah.
We
no.
didn't have to get up, but we will get up Saturday.
Great.
We'll be setting the
Uh,
cameras up Saturday.
But
But I have rockets on my shirt.
yeah,
Guess who made this shirt?
absolutely.
Oh dang! It's that's a So Sister exclusive.
And had a great time with him. He's a big influencer on social media with what he does, and very important to both of you. They're a couple, you and Gene and Ken there, and you got married recently, right? Legally or not? I can't say that. But we consider you married,
It's a
okay?
domestic partnership.
I consider myself.
But these are people I had no clue who they were and whatnot. And as we went along the road, you guys trusted me just like
Yeah.
Karen did to put this on there. So particularly the IT people. I tried. We were on a 4-channel microphone for a while. Maybe we'll go back to that one day. But the USIACs, Mark and Tom USIAC, and Vicky. Hope that you get better, Vicky. Heard you were sick. Donated money to us here. The
of
Marie
that.
G. Let me tell you, some people have given us some serious money. The Marie G. West Endowment, our Indian friends from the continent of India, Ram, Mal, and Bharat.
I know people.
The USIAC family, Dave Stangy, one of our #1 watchers out there. Larry
Literally.
Pushkar,
Comment one.
of course Hazel, Steve Jokums. We know you're watching up there at the Lake County Spaceport on the shores of Lake Michigan. Karen and her husband Mark, significant donors to this. Mike and Randy Weinkoop were high school friends of mine, and Patty was our high school prom queen.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and they donated $200 that we bought our audio 4-channel thing with on there way back. And John and Melinda Tribe, among others, have also given us significant money
We just
to
lost
buy
John
equipment we
recently.
needed.
We
Pardon
just
me?
lost John recently.
Who?
Yeah, didn't we?
No.
Who?
He's still.
No, we lost
Maybe
Lee
he
Solid.
lost his way in
Oh,
traffic.
I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
You're thinking of Lee.
Yeah.
So, what have you got to say, Trekkie Techie? Jessica Galloway, Chief Development
Chief
there. But
Development.
Jessica got busy because you got a fabulous
Got a big girl job.
You got a
Got a-
big girl
got a
job.
big girl
right,
job.
yeah. And you're growing up still.
I know,
Oh.
it's crazy, right? No, I went back to work at the school district and got my foot into the tech world, like actually and employed, and it's been really fun. And I love it. I love
You got
it.
employee of the.
I got employee of the year. I didn't get it 2 years in a row. That's
Okay.
then that doesn't ever happen. But maybe next year. But yeah, I mean we're doing really cool stuff. I'm actually the one of the advisors on the news crew.
Okay.
So I'm teaching 4th, 5th, and 6th graders how to do exactly this. So
that's cool.
yeah, there I was like, yeah, we got to do Streamlabs and we'll do slides. They record it and then they edit it after the fact, and we upload it to YouTube. It automatically posts, and it's
we
really
need their
cool.
phone number in case they have a problem.
You do, yeah. No, I'm gonna make sure that they've got you on deck. I'll be like, you guys need any volunteer hours? They're getting ready to go into middle school. We'll absolutely set them up.
Oh, that's nice.
Super. Well, thank you. I'm going to rush you off and,
Okay,
and Bruce.
we gotta get
So we-
the big
yeah,
wigs in
it's
here.
Yeah, got to get Karen in here. And Gene, you and Ken both have become good, fast friends through our program here. Are you getting a good reading there, Marty?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what, you're an influencer. You see a lot of social media, so forth. What's your take on 1,000 episodes of this little program?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm surprised. I can't imagine doing this every day. I just can't. I mean, to come up with all the information and everything else or a topic, and you have a lot of wonderful guests. I mean, for people who've never been here, this place is truly a little jewel. In fact, when I was at the visitor complex, people are surprised at how expensive it is to get there. We would always tell them, hey, if you want to get a real nice place to go to that's reasonable for a family to go to, this would be the place to come to. And it's really nice. The people are nice. A lot of good volunteers. A lot of the volunteers work with me. We work on shuttle, and it's just nice. It's a nice family place to come to, and they've got beautiful things.
Thank you.
Thank you. And well, that's what the space community is a family. And I've learned so much about the workers out there like Gene and others that I'm going to mention we've had on the show. Not only how dedicated they were, but their patriotism and pride in their craft is just unparalleled in any industry in America. But you're dealing with human lives going to space.
But I'm glad you said that. For the first time, someone once said to me, I want to thank you for your service to your country. And I said, well, I was an ombudsman in the Navy, but I never considered me working on the shuttle as being my patriotic duty. And I got to thinking, but it is. I served my country and we launched shuttle. So yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Well, you're welcome. And thinking of Navy, I'm thinking of space hipster number one, Emily Carney, who was familiar with this museum before I came here and has embraced it. And we appreciate you space hipsters joining us when you can out there. I know that if I looked a little bit prettier like Ellie in space, we'd have more viewers, but we're working on it, okay? So
I'd like that better.
What he needs is a Terry Pin Smith.
I do. I
Terry
did start
White
curling my
mustache.
mustache. Maybe. Okay.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, we got Karen here and Selvin Trotter. Okay, Selvin is been with us a little bit here as our bookkeeper and ombudsman, like we all become, doing different things. And he's pinch hit for Marty, so we don't get to see Selvin's face behind it. Mackelberg.
Hey, very good.
Greetings. Yes.
We have the foreign
we
boys
have
in the house.
we have the Netherlands in the building. Greetings. Great to see you guys. Yeah, and these guys are from the Netherlands, and they've been 3 or 4 times we've been in here to meet them. And you guys been on Stay Curious back there. But Selvin, thank you for all that you do for Stay Curious here and pinch hitting. You're the newbie there. What's your opinion of this crazy little program?
Hectic sometimes, but it always comes together.
Hectic is
We always come together.
You already see me a 3:45 trying to put it together and wondering what we do there. Yeah, we'll show this on here when we'll push you. We'll leave you with that there. But yes, we're serious about the outreach and Karan Conklin, who's like a sister to me. When we met in this museum, I was living in Tennessee. I was writing a column on space and astronomy. If I have a gallon of knowledge right now, I probably had a pint if I was lucky 7 years ago, just from talking to people like Marty and Ken Kramer that's covered it and Carlton Bailey over there and so forth. And there's Barry over there, Barry Smith that worked on the Hubble and so forth. I wake up every morning saying, how in the hell this happened? and it's because of Karen. And Karen and I talked after this column. It is, and I love you so much for what you've done in my life by allowing me to be myself, and then have some people that I never even knew their names or what they did, like Bob Seek and Jim Harrington and Mike Leinbach, 3 launch directors that have been on our show. Lowell Grissom, when Lowell Grissom 10 feet away from you says, "Hi, Mark," I mean, what does that mean to you? Of course, Lowell many years. Hugh Harris, who I dearly miss, who died at age 90, but we become fast friends because of our news affiliations. Lee Solid and John Tribe and Bob Seek, and God bless the late Lee Solid and his whole family there. We miss him a lot, but Bob Seek, Lee Solid, and John Tribe, kind of without them knowing it, took me under their wing and kind of led me to some right people that they still do. And Mr. Jay Honeycutt, former director of the Kennedy Space Center and manager of the shuttle, is another person that I never thought I'm like friends with, and doing things with. So I'm very blessed. And but Karen, you were in the beginning kind of knew that we were onto something for outreach for here. So go ahead and tell them what you felt about it, or your impression of our 1,000th episode.
Oh, the 1,000th or through the whole 1,000 episodes?
Well, yeah.
Well,
whatever.
When we started, it was kind of goofy how we handled everything. Running around with the cell phone trying to catch a glimpse of Mark.
Yeah, right.
And I think we tried it a couple of times before we actually got it down. But yeah, you've taken this bull by the horns, and I get credit for the name.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yes. Karen and I wrote a column for Space and Astronomy for 22 years in Johnson City newspaper, and I came here after a vacation, walked through on a Wednesday, called up Thursday. Can I remember John Smith was my docent because he's a Wednesday docent, and said, I need someone to round out my column. You sat down with me 15, 20 minutes. We talked about the column. And then when we looked at each other's watches, it was like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
And I knew walking out of here, I was going to be part of this museum. I knew I was going to move here for it, my early retirement.
Wow.
And it was because of just your conversation with me.
So,
And I would call you up and say, I'm going to come down there again. And well, you're coming at the right time, you kept saying. You said, and she became the executive director. And, I do a lot of other things for the museum. But we never thought this would be, so important to everybody. And it's because of the viewers out there that wanted it
almost definitely.
on there.
Yeah, people that are so loyal around the world. That's awesome. You've done a great job.
Well, I appreciate that. And like I said, I couldn't without you giving me the long leash that you did. Really.
Sometimes you almost strangled yourself on it.
I know. I know. But no, it's and the board of directors is behind it all the way, and we hope that it can grow because it's now a financial outlet for us. How much we making on this show today, Bruce?
Oh, I couldn't give you.
I think about 75 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, we made $13 last month. Okay.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Hazel gave me a card when she walked in. I think, is it out of there? Oh. And
the cards. Yes.
the card's still here. It says rock star, shining star, superstar. Keep brightening the world with your awesome self. And she says, stay curious. And she gave us a check for $500.
Who did?
Hazel.
Hazel.
Wow.
God bless you, Hazel. She left already. Yeah. Well, that's why I had her sitting here because. Well, there she is. Thank you, Hazel. Yeah, we love you. Hazel was actually the first
Donor.
museum friend that I made here because Hazel takes our rack cards up Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach to about 30 different locations. And I told her, I said, I want to get to know people and let me ride with you and do that. And I got to know what she did as an Apollo secretary, but then we met people, how they thought about the museum or didn't know about the museum. And the first thing Karen and I attacked with the board was me joining the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce. And I'm very proud that we were the 2021 Nonprofit of the Year for the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce. And that's a big Chamber of Commerce, about 1,200 members with about 50 nonprofits. And a lot of it was because of this program on there. But I wanted to show a couple things here. Do you have anything poignant to say that in
Karen,
there?
talk up like you're yelling at Mark.
Oh, like I'm yelling at him? I don't yell, but
No, she doesn't yell. She's very soft spoken and carries a big mallet, a big wooden spoon. My little sister gave me a T-shirt one time. It says a wooden spoon on it. It says, "I survived the wooden spoon."
there you go.
Because that's how you grew up in the 60s, okay?
right.
You didn't smart off to mom. Boy, she'd slap your face or that wooden spoon was right there. Take,
Well, I'm going to give up my seat to somebody, but I just
Okay.
wanted to say, wait a minute.
all right.
I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you and all the hard work you put into this and into everything you do. We know you love the museum, and we love you too.
Well, thank you very much. It's truly a miracle to be doing what you're doing at age 70 when you're 8 years old,
Yeah,
loving space and astronauts. And
good for you.
it's just an example to everybody out there. You can't plan what's going to happen in your life.
No.
To me, you just show up. And I showed up here, and I can remember a few people commenting, you're really into this, and kind of amazed at how, I wanted a part of this. And there were some, things along the way that I had to leave to be involved with this museum. Because what
Well,
else?
you broke up with your girlfriend.
Yeah, I've had several girlfriends that thought I loved the museum more than them. You've had several boyfriends. You just had a good marriage for the last couple of
Yeah, he
decades.
lets me do it.
But no, this is what Karen and I came up with. We celebrate the birth of America's space age right here in this delivery room, Brevard County. We're surrounded by artifacts that you'll never see anywhere else. One of my favorite ones is a brick, and this is the only county in the country where you can get a brick thrown out of a moonport flame trench by a rocket going to the moon. And that's how special this place is. And I'm so glad to be involved in it. Just wanted to say, I know you want to thank some people along with me that have been monthly contributors.
Most
Ken
definitely.
was one of the first frequent contributors, Ken Kramer.
Yeah.
There, come over here just a second, Ken. And say a few words about, you've seen a lot of these things. Ken's
Here, I'm gonna get up.
okay. Ken has his own website, Space Up Close, and was involved with other people know the Facebook. Well, you were involved with before your own website.
Oh, Universe
Universe Today, yeah.
and NASA Watch, and the Space Flight magazine from Britain, and I did many TV interviews,
Yeah.
like with the BBC, all the national networks. We still
Can't
do
scoot
that.
over one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
What I can say.
Come on over here, CB. CB's got a shirt on
There
there.
go the ratings.
All right, yeah, there goes the ratings.
So, yeah, we're actually the three of us space journalists.
Yeah.
Now, Gene worked on the shuttle. Hold up your book, Gene.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
was
here,
gonna
I'm
say
okay.
that when I was
Got
on
your
the
book.
show.
This is an double award-winning book because Gene was a seamstress on the space shuttle. Okay, and that's
So
what this
sister.
museum celebrates. Apollo, Gemini, Mercury, the space shuttle. So you want to get this book, double award-winning,
Yeah.
Thank you. I was going to say that
And-
when I was on the show.
and it's
Sorry.
been
Well,
endorsed.
Elise Matrick there,
Well,
however you
look
say
right
her
here.
name, it's beautifully
Madish,
illustrated.
Madish.
Yeah, beautifully illustrated, and it's just a cool book there. And yeah, we're gonna have Gene on
And-
to promote this.
And
For women's
and you know
history month,
who's
that's nice.
endorsed the book? You know who our shuttle launch director is, right?
Yeah, Mike
Mike
Leinbach.
Leinbach, who was your guest yesterday.
No,
Jonathan
Moore.
Ward, three astronauts. Okay, Don Thomas, Nicole,
A lot of people may not know.
Oh,
Right.
Nicole,
yeah. Gene, tell
Nicole
us yeah, thank you. No,
and
The Sow
Barbara
Sisters-
Morgan.
and
The other-
Barbara Morgan
The
too.
Sow Sisters is named after us group of ladies, 18 of us that actually sewed flight hardware as part of the thermal protection system on the space shuttle. People think we made the spacesuits, but we did the blankets on the outside and gap fillers and blankets around the engines and all the payload bay blankets and blankets inside the nose, thrusters. We did a lot of hand sewing, and it was an honor to be able to work on it with a
And
bunch
there's
of
a
great
picture of
ladies.
the ladies
So
right
thanks.
here.
Thanks for the plug. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Well, we'll have you on to talk about the show there. You've been very busy and so forth. But yeah, these three people here, she's a space worker. These two covered space. Envious for me that you guys were photographers, but then I'm saying I'm old and I don't want to lug that equipment out there and hurry up and wait. So glad that you guys do that and use your photography once in a while there. So you've been a social media influencer there, Ken. Tell people what a program like this can mean to everybody out there in the Netherlands of America, and we're seen around the world.
Well, what this program can mean is the future of inspiring the next generation of explorers. That's what we all do here. Okay, we need to get those kids excited. Okay, in science, space, STEM, sewing, like Jean, the many crafts that can go into it. The way we build our economy is investing in science and technology. So we're all working together to get that understanding of the general public, to understand why space is important. You know, when Gene and the others were let go, when the shuttler was retired, it was a ghost town here. That's why your museum almost went out of business.
That's right.
Okay, now we have an uptick, okay, and we have SpaceX here that we're covering, okay, and ULA with their new Vulcan rocket. So there's a lot of things happening, and that's what we're doing, is we're trying to inform the public, educate, enlighten, and excite them. I was very excited. We were very excited to meet the students on Eagle Cam. What's Eagle Cam? That's the new lunar lander. We have, we don't want. We're not going to go that
deep in this
well,
right now.
It's important. You asked me about, you know, what we're doing.
Yeah.
What we're doing is, Marty worked on this LEM, and now for the first time in 50 years, we're back on the moon, and students from Embry-Riddle, Florida, have an experiment on there called EcoCam, okay, taking pictures of the moon. And they are inspired by, you know, the people that came before them. They're everybody standing on the shoulders of giants, okay, in this room. So that's what it's all about.
That's right. And we want to see those Eagle Cam pictures. Embry-Riddle is just 50 miles up the road there, and the two astronauts graduated from there, Nicole Stott and Ron Garan. And
she was there that night with us.
And Marty said they're at the Space Center today out there. So, Ken, thank you for helping us along the way there. Gene, I'll have you guys go off, please.
Yep.
And buy her book there, Soul Sister. CB, let's get Gary, why don't you come over here, Mary, and sit down here. And I got Ron Mecklenburg, right? Ron, and I forget your name now. Jacques. Yeah. Ron Mecklenburg and Jacques
Mecklenburg. Rob.
Well, you know, I'm catching on there.
Jacques.
Okay, Jacques. I'll do it. You got a Snoopy on there.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
You guys are from the Netherlands.
Yeah,
Right.
media from the Netherlands.
All right. Barry is a space worker that worked on the Hubble telescope and one of the most excellent docents you'll want to come in. So move in here a little bit, Barry. But you guys have been fans of Stay Curious for years. I think he can hear you right there. We'll try it there. So, you're here for the launch?
Yeah, for Crew 8 launch.
Good.
And it's now delayed. We got the mail.
So is the hotel room okay?
Yeah, we stay close to here. We can
Okay.
walk to here. We have a house, a rental house.
Oh, good. Oh, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. And so the ticket prices must be low from the Netherlands to here.
Ticket price is low now.
Go up.
Ticket price, I cannot stay long.
We'll talk about Stay Curious, that you guys been watching it.
Yeah, we watch it not every day from the Netherlands, but if we have time, we look many times.
Uh-huh.
And that's nice to see. I may have some fans from Spaceflight, from Candy Space, and they look also sometimes. And I make also some advertising that look to Curious, and then they will look. So.
It's nice that you have
Stay curious.
those space shuttle workers on the show and have them talk about their job. So that's really inspiring and bring it out to the world. So that's great what you do.
That's what we love is our space. We have had monthly guests of Terry White, Mikey Haddad, level 4 engineer, talking about payloads, wrote a book about it. Nick Thomas, the astronaut wrangler out to Space Center, has 100 astronaut phone numbers in his cell phone probably. Of course, the late Hugh Harris, Travis Triple T Thompson, the White Room Tech. We did many shows with him. Steve Agid is a wealth of knowledge and a space worker. And Via Space we've had on here. Tom and Mark Usiak, photographers, have talked about their stuff on there. And then we've had some great guests like Chris Calley, the artist. I'm going to show something of Chris's here in a minute. Doug Forrest, can't leave you out there, buddy. Sharon McDougall, our suit tech in Houston. Alex Carl, our Eurocom. Alex is the Eurocom talking to space station. Rock Keats was a young man that's working on the Gateway. And I made some great friends like Dean Schaff, who is the GOM on Tau, the ground operations manager for the Transoceanic Abort Landing Site. Okay. And I have learned my acronyms, or Marty's sitting there telling me that I don't have them right on there. So, yes, acronyms there. So it's just amazing the type of people we've had on here. And I was going to do the list of the astronauts didn't print out. And I had a list of 13 astronauts there. Is there another sheet printed out there, Trekkie Techie?
Who visited this museum?
Yeah, it did on there. So I just wanted to get you guys on there to thank you
Nice
for
to be here.
we are seeing Cliff Watson. I know you're watching in Australia. We've got people, a lady named Marina that watches in the Ukraine. We've got haven't seen the lady in France for a while.
Yeah, Ciderelle.
Who? Yeah.
Myself.
Ophelia. Yeah, Ophelia. She was watching from Normandy, France. And when we look up our algorithms, surprisingly, behind the United States are people from the continent of India watching us. They don't chime in very much, but and of course India. I was just reading last night. They've got they got 3 astronauts ready to go maybe the end of this year and become the 4th country. On there. India is to be watched. Believe it or not, India's got the largest population on Earth now.
Yeah, really.
1.4 billion.
I heard also.
China's maybe a hair under that, but.
And 3rd is the Netherlands.
Pardon me?
Did you mention Robert Law?
Oh no, Robert Law, Dundee, Scotland. Of course, Robert up there. When I said India, I thought you said chicken paprikash.
Oh no.
Which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But no, Robert Law has been watching this. He'll be in our museum soon, as will Cliff Watson up there. But,
so worldwide audience.
That's right.
Worldwide,
yes, and you guys are part
nice.
of it. Thanks for coming on here,
Yeah.
guys. All right.
It's our
All right. I'll let you hustle off
you.
there. I want to talk to Barry a minute here. Barry. Barry's going to bring us some really great people.
Too loud.
Oh, it is too loud? Okay.
When you hold it right there, it's too loud.
All right. Barry, tell us a little bit what you worked on.
Okay, I've spent 30 years at Goddard Space Flight Center. Worked 20 years on the Hubble Space Telescope, 6 years on the James Webb Telescope. I did some time working on robotics and research and development, and then moved on to being a cryogenics manager.
So he knows his stuff.
Get him closer to the mic. You're plenty loud.
Oh, okay.
Nobody else is.
All right, there you go.
So I've had a pretty full career, and it was a great time. And I want to give a salute out to those little guys that are out there, the janitors, the people that are on the contamination control, the designers. These are the foundation of each one of the centers that keep us going and keep us building. And I go and I applaud you all for all the work that you've done.
That's a good point there. Every job is needed, from janitor to astronaut, of course, out there. Barry, why do you trust me to give me the phone numbers of some of your best friends to put on Stay Curious?
Well, it's Ed Rizach, terrific guy. I mean, you want to sit down and to somebody that's really friendly and outgoing, and he's just a warm type of guy.
Yeah, I talked to him on the phone.
And you can just
And,
sit down and talk to him. And he's a big guy. He's way up here. He's up there with Frank Zeppelina.
As far as the management of the Hubble spacewalkers and so forth. Yeah, that's my way of saying thank you for trusting me to talk to these people. They will be a big part of Shuttle Fest when we get into the Hubble telescope years here with our Shuttle Fest. At our third Shuttle Fest is going to be April 13th, and we've got a lineup that's called More Than Just Astronomy Missions, talking about Galileo, Ulysses, and their RTGs and their proposed Centaur second stages with liquid fuel that nobody wanted to fly. And then we're going to talk about the astronomy Astro 1 and 2, in honor of a great man, Sam Durant, who passed away. That was involved with that on there. But yeah, you're a great docent and the type of people that we want to attract here at the American Space Museum.
You know something I enjoy here is the foreigners. I already today.
You froze.
Good tech. We froze up.
I got volume still.
Okay. Well, hold on there. We're going to check out why we froze up here talking.
Is it? Oh, I don't want to end the.
We're doing something a little different here, so they're checking all the connections. But well, let me thank you, Barry, for being here.
Pleasure.
Since they all can hear me, I'm going to name off the 13 astronauts I can recall, and I may have missed one or two. Bart Martindale isn't here, but Bart is a communicator out to Kennedy Visitors Complex. Are we still on air? And Bart interviewed Ron Guerin and Fred Gregory with Marty. In fact, we did Fred Gregory at the hotel, and we appreciate Bart's helping us here. But some of the astronauts that I've interviewed with Marty are Jim Adamson, Jack Lausma, and happy 22nd birthday to Jack Lausma, born on Leap Day. He's actually 88, but and Jack is was a wonderful guy to be around. Andy Allen, who's Top Gun. We learned Andy Allen's Top Gun nickname was Slick. All right, not why you'd think so. It was Slick from he jumped into a swimming pool after taking a shower and fixing his hair, and he left a slick of oil in the swimming pool. So his Top Gun guys nicknamed him Slick.
I like that.
On there. Also nicknamed Slick, another Top Gun, is Winston Scott, great supporter of our museum in there. John David Bartow has been on the program. Mike Baker. Bakes is quite a character, and I'm sure we'll have him back on again. We love taking you out to dinner, Bakes, when you're in town. Fred Hayes was our first interview, in fact, all right. Joanne Morgan wasn't an astronaut, but before I forgot her, Joanne Morgan, the first female engineer in the Apollo launch control. Of course, Nicole Stott, a great supporter of our museum with her husband, Chris. And Nikki's done several book signings here at the museum and put up some of my silliness twice. Actually, we've had her birthdays on here in November twice. So, John Harrington, the first Native American to go to space, was a great time with John. Charlie Walker, we've talked to him a couple times. Tom Jones, awesome interview with Tom Jones, and he's got a great book out called Space Shuttle Stories. Mike McCulley, another one of the great supporters of this American Space Museum. And so those are the 13 astronauts I recall that we've interviewed. And so good. I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I'll close this out here with a couple things on my own that I can talk about that are really big deals of our show. All right. First is this. What is this?
There we go.
Thank you, Clay Lock. Yeah, thank you, Clay Lock of Coastal Windows and Tint. This was our COVID barrier. Okay, so when we interviewed people during the pandemic, we wondered about that, and Karan said, "Well, let's just get a barrier between them." And she's friends with Clay Lock of Coastal Window, and they gave us this for free. So put that. You can take that away. And
they're commenting our technical issues were a throwback to the old days.
yeah, there you go.
And the plexi screen is more of a throwback.
Absolutely. Nicole Stott, I loved her book, and she had commented, what is your Earthrise moment? What is that aha moment of your life? Doesn't it? But it was with America, seeing for the Apollo 8 astronauts, seeing the first Earthrise over the moon. And with that is this Earthrise. And it's just like Carlton Bailey and the UCX and several other people out there. I can't believe how I'm a friend with Chris Calley, who's his own right a fabulous artist, and his dad was one of the first 8 artists allowed on Kennedy Space Center, Paul Calley, and these are both masterful people. This is Chris's Earthrise with Marty Winkle went out there and got, how many names are on there, Marty?
Oh, how many names are on there?
Astronaut names are in there. 40?
1, 2.
On there. And this is part of the Moon Tree Foundation that Chris Calley supports. And good for you, Chris. That's here because we were getting it filled. But I told Karan, I said, we're going to have guests on here, and I'm kind of a sentimental fool. And I would like to, why don't we have them, every guest sign on the wall, okay, in there. And she goes, no, we're not going to sign on the wall. And I go, yeah, you're right, because I'd want to cut it out and save it, because I know we're going to have some astronauts. So I found some pictures in our things that we have access of. And this is this was probably 2022. We've only done this for 3 years, and this was halfway through 2022, where we have astronaut.
Just sit there, Marco.
Okay, where we have astronaut. A few. Who do I have on there? Dr. Al Kohler. Boy, I got to mention his name on supporting us. There's Hugh Harris, and Ellie in Space is right behind Hugh Harris there. 90-year-old and a 30-some-year-old. There's Carlton. We've got J.D. Bartow, the astronauts right there. There's Chris Calley. There's John Harrington, astronaut. Gary Allgaier. I know you all enjoy Gary Allgaier's shows a lot. Structural engineer. And so that was the first time we did that 2 years ago. Then this is last year's, all of 2023. Bob Castro on there, the oldest person we've ever interviewed. All right, W.O. Brown, 100 years old, Mr. Brown. And I need to check, see if he's still around. Mike Cotton, I know that you'll be watching this. He was our Shuttlefest 2, based around the documentary he did, The Base to Space. Scott Vongen is a level 4 engineer that you're going to hear about at the next Shuttlefest. We got the Usiak brothers. There's Marie Fullerton, wife of Gordon Fullerton. All right, what a delightful woman Marie Fullerton is. And there's Mike Baker. Via Space employees have been on here. That's our local hometown rocket company. There's Mr. Jay Honeycutt. On and on. Frank Custer, Kevin Panic. Just space workers that enjoyed sharing their story. Rick Horner, all right, and his wife,
Perry.
Perry, yeah, his wife Perry.
Rick Horner. Rick Horner.
Yeah, Rick Horner, Perry, and
Eric Baker.
Perry Baker and Eric Baker. Yeah, Eric Baker, another guy. There's Charlie Walker on there. All right, and then so this is 2024. We're filling this up. All right, with. Got that many guests on here so far. So there's Gary Allgaier there. Lowell Grissom. Okay. So we'll fill this up. How about, yes, a unique astronaut we interviewed, Leo Proctor. All right. She went to space on the St. Jude's space flight. I looked up one day, and there she is with our National Space Society friends like We got Bert Dick on here. All right, Bert's up here somewhere. There's Terry White.
Top right.
Yeah, there's Bert. Clay Walker. Y'all been enjoying Clay Walker's photos of the Vandenberg Air Base in construction. So that's what we're all about today. And finally, any comments or questions?
Fetch the scroll.
Yeah, the final thing here is fetch the scroll. And so I need one thing that I've not used a teleprompter. I have been pretty much off the top of my head. So thank you, everybody, for correcting me. Particularly Marty. It took me a while to realize that Pad 39A was not on Cape Canaveral property. It was on Kennedy Space Center property. All right. But these are the little things that you got to know, or they eat you up alive in this space business. All right. So this is my cheat sheet that I want a quick look at the shuttle, because one thing we love doing is celebrating the shuttle of the month. And that is a kind of a shtick that I wanted to do. So this is my shuttle scroll. I found something that had all the shuttles on it, and it had a lot of good information. Of course, their date, their crew, how many times the orbiter and the crew flight was. And then I've got some of the people that have been on. I see Tom Jones autographed it, Mike Leinbach, Mr. Jim Harrington autographed it. Jay Honeycutt, there's Hugh Harris's signature on there. So, and I have up at the top here some quickie facts that Orbiter 103 flew 355 individuals flew on Discovery, for example. Things like this will either go into the archives or be sold one day when I'm gone on our auction on there. So, that's my way of just kind of keeping track of things that are important to us by having people sign them. We've got a couple things coming up that have come out of this. Ozzy Osbourne was on this program 3 times, and he was the rocket hobo. And Ozzy died at age 72 on August 6th of natural causes. He was a fixture out there at Spaceview Park. If you were from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and came down to see your first launch, and probably the only launch you'll ever see, you're going to, remember that launch and the rocket roar. And then the second thing you're going to remember is Ozzy Osbourne, the white-bearded, white-haired guy that was doing the countdown from 10 to 0. And Marty and I've heard him do it many times. Rarely was he in sync with the rocket launch. But because they get down to 0 and it's still on the pad and everybody's looking, then it goes off. But that's because it's hard to sync with the exact to know who to listen to. But what I always enjoyed,
volunteer here too.
always a volunteer here, a ham radio operator. He was the webmaster for the Museums of Brevard. Very involved in the Democratic Party at one time here, and so on and so forth. So we're going to have, but most importantly, Ozzy is the person who brought to us the 321 area code. And we're going to celebrate that on March 21st in downtown Titusville with 321 Day. We're going to celebrate the life of Ozzy and then hope that this becomes an annual event in downtown Titusville where we kick off our spring break and the official days of spring on 321 Day. So that's very special to us, but we miss Ozzy also on this. Trekkie Techie, you've got a question.
We've got Mark Uziak in the chat, and
We can't hear you out there.
Yes,
on
you
it,
can.
Okay,
They can.
Mark Usiak's got a question.
Mark Uziak has a question. Was there ever a shuttle launch on a leap day?
Was there ever a shuttle launch on Leap Day?
Fetch
No.
the scroll.
There was one on the 28th. STS-36 was launched yesterday. And I not remembering that. I looked that up and didn't really post anything on Facebook. But rocket launches. I'm sure there have been some rocket launches.
He said shuttle, but rocket yes, shuttle no.
Okay. Well, but yes, it's Leap Day, and means, and that's why I kind of chose today as to celebrate it. Tuesday was our official 1000th episode. But as we end this program here, Appreciate everybody participating in it. Can't wait to eat some cake. Hey, I gotta give Fozzie some love.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yeah. I gotta give. I knew very little about Godzilla. Come over here, CB. We didn't really talk to you. Another one of my BFFs that I've made here. Here is Godzilla, but you can't call it Godzilla so it's called FOD for what?
Foreign object debris.
Foreign object debris.
Which is a big program out on the Cape and the Space Center.
I'm glad the green screen's not on.
That's right. Well,
have to change his switch.
So a lot of these photographers have some good luck charms. Jean's got her troll dolls out there. You'll see her posts and so forth on there.
The earliest I found him was STS 117, I think.
But until I met this friend, I didn't appreciate two things: loud shirts and Godzilla. And I've helped you at two Comic-Con events.
Yep.
I've learned a lot about Godzilla. In fact, there was one on last night, fighting that Angara, the thing that's got the spikes all over it on there. Yeah. See, I even know what that is on there. So I appreciate you bringing that into my world. Okay, on there.
Any chance.
But what do you think about 1,000th episode? We love your contribution to it.
Well, it's I look at how many launches I've seen, and I've gotten to where, okay, there's another launch coming up, but they're starting to look alike. But I haven't seen two shows here that look alike, so it could be your 1,000 show.
Yeah.
It sounded great in my head.
Oh.
It
You're meaning for the content, not for my foibles.
Right. Yeah, the content, of course, the content. No, it's always, and I'll be the first to admit, I don't always understand everything that your guests talk about.
Me neither. I'll tell you that. That's not me neither.
And so sometimes I'll go back and read about it, but when they get down to the color, when they get down to the wiring and things that, and they start, no.
Well, Kevin Hofstrasser, another great interview, and he talked about the SSME engines, and yeah, I barely kept up with that. And of course, Lee Solid when he was talking about stuff. No, but you do understand it then, the way that they give it to you, and that's what our program's all about, is trying to understand, just a little taste of what these space workers did. Right. That nobody in any industry in America has done. Now, we got these private companies, and a lot of them have spawned from it. In fact, I just learned that the CEO of Intuitive Machines was he was over the reconstruction of Columbia under Mike Leinbach as a NASA employee on there. And Jonathan Ward talked about that on his interview on there. And hi, Jonathan, and he wrote 4 great books that we promoted yesterday. But good to have you as part of it. We love sharing your work on Facebook and on Stay Curious.
I think the best thing about this show is that when I started along, you had a magazine maybe once a month dedicated to the shuttle. Other than that, you might see an article in Post or Saturday, they won't know. But it was very, very hard to find any kind of space information. And then now, this is space history. You're not looking. You'll do that Forward Fridays. So what's coming up? But you're showing and you're telling a history that so many people don't know about, aren't interested in, and I'm finding more and more people are learning about the history, which is great.
Good. Well, we appreciate that. I appreciate your friendship on there. So, Steve Izzo, do you want to say anything? I didn't think you did. And how about Hazel?
No.
Oh, okay. Connie McDaniel's in the crowd here. That's okay, Connie. Well, we'll let you eat some cake. Do you want to eat some cake? We have cake. Oh, okay.
Cut the cake before we close.
All right. Bring a knife over here, and I'll have some parting thought from.
You go back there and cut it.
All right. Sounds good. Final thing I'd like to say is that I feel like I'm very privileged and blessed to do this, like I've talked about. But Marty and I do this from the heart, and we really enjoy all of you that we've made friends with around the world. Marty's writing down your names all the time there, and we shout them out to you. And it's just a privilege that you all take the time to do that. But, seriously, we feel that we do content that nobody else is doing on YouTube or the internet. We are interviewing space workers. Some are retired, some are active. We can't get many of the Blue Origin and SpaceX people on there because some of their stuff is priority, but we really feel that our outreach is like none other. And so we ask of you to please tell your friends to watch us so we can increase our number of people watching, not for me and Marty but for the American Space Museum, because we need this outreach to sustain this humble nonprofit here. So, but I love y'all, and I appreciate everybody watching here, and thank you all for your great comments. And let's go cut the cake.
Where'd the knife go?
Let's have some cake. Give me a knife there.
Knife.
And there we go.
Cake is for me because it's my birthday today.
It's your birthday too today?
Yes.
Oh, you're born on February. Like Jack Loudsman.
Yes.
All right. Well, here, I'll cut the cake here. Yeah.
13.
All right. I'm going to cut this corner right here. Ta-da. I'll cut 2 pieces there. All right. Thank you.
Yay!
Let's see what flavor it is here.
Marbles.
All right.
Oh, it is marble.
Stay curious, flavor.
So with that,
The mystery.
I thank everybody. I think you all know my tagline to go out. Don't you? Come over here. Carlton.
All together.
All right. Oh, here's our Stay Curious thing there. And Karen, come over here. Good cake. Must be Publix.
It is.
In there. All right.
They make the best.
To bridge the space between us, right? Right. All right. On 3, we love everybody for watching Stay Curious, and we can't wait to see you again to what? To bridge the space between us. Thank you, everybody.
Yay!
Stay curious.